Oh friends, I have such a great book for you today. You know how sometimes you read a new book and you go, this is instantly one of my new favorites? That's what I felt with this book when I read it first. Today's book is called Harlem Grown, and here's a couple really cool facts about Harlem Grown. This is based on a true story, which is really cool. You'll love it when we read it. So Harlem is a city in New York, and it's really like a city. There's not a lot of green space. There's a lot of buildings and sidewalks, and not a lot of farms in that area, not a lot of suburbs, that kind of thing. So Mr. Tony, who is in this book, started volunteering at a school there, and he realized that there was an empty, kind of run-down parking lot that didn't look so great, kind of looked a little scary. And Mr. Tony had an idea. I love an idea. Mr. Tony thought, gosh, he could turn that into a garden for everybody who lived in that neighborhood, and he could teach the kids in the school how to grow plants. And so it just became a really beautiful thing. And Mr. Tony's really passionate about getting everybody, whether you live in a city or the country, to grow your own food and just to use a green space. I love that. I grow a lot of my own food. I love to grow vegetables and herbs, and I'm usually not interested in growing something unless I can eat it. So that's mainly what I grow. I have another friend who really likes to grow stuff. Her name is Elizabeth O, and she's watching from Winnebago, North Carolina. Elizabeth, I know you love to grow veggies and you're such a good helper in the garden, so I hope you really like this book. Mr. Tony, if you're watching, thanks for writing this book. I love it so much. And as always, we are going to draw. And what I chose to draw from the book today is a bunch of gardening supplies to kind of help you remember how simple it is to grow stuff. So we're gonna draw a couple shovels, a hose, some seed packets, that kind of thing. So get your crayon and paper ready because we are going to do it, okay? You guys ready for Harlem Grown? Let's do it. This is Harlem Grown by Tony Hillary. Once in a big city called New York, in a bustling neighborhood called Harlem, there was an empty lot. Nevaeh called it the Haunted Garden. It was cluttered with wrecked couches, old TVs, broken bottles, and empty cans. Once in a big city, in a bustling neighborhood, there was Nevaeh's school. PS 175 it was called, and it sat across from the Haunted Garden. One day, a man came to PS 175. Mr. Tony, the kids called him. When Mr. Tony saw those kids and that haunted garden, he had an idea. He began to clear the haunted garden, one piece of trash at a time. Soon, it was a clean slate, a blank canvas. Mr. Tony laid down new, clean soil. He invited Nevaeh to help. Seeds, shovels, water. Nevaeh started to plant. Then she dug holes in the ground, and into the holes she placed her seedlings, and then she carefully covered them with dirt. And her friends came too. 400 seedlings went into the ground, one for each kid. There was basil and mint, cilantro and rosemary. Then the kids watered and weeded, and their plants began to grow. Once when Nevaeh came to the lot after school, her plant was wilted and sad. "We'll try again," said Mr. Tony. "We'll plant something different." Wood, hammer, nails. Mr. Tony built raised beds for the plants, and the kids tried again. Peas and broccoli, mint and eggplants. They watered and weeded. And at last, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, blueberries, strawberries, collard greens, kale, basil, and arugula. Mr. Tony watched and helped and smiled. More kids came from the neighborhood. They tended their plants, which grew and grew, and up came more fruits and vegetables. The kids took their green beans and carrots and cucumbers home to their families for dinner. Once in a big city called New York, in a bustling neighborhood called Harlem, there was a man with an idea. There were kids who wanted to help, and they made a farm. the end. All right, friends. So I love this book. I think I said it before, but I love learning about growing things and just making it a really celebrated part of the world, and teaching kids how to grow their own food I think is so important. So loved this book. We're gonna draw this page today, which shows like kind of some of the supplies that you would need to grow your own stuff. So we're gonna draw a couple shovels. We'll draw a twisty, windy hose. We'll draw some seeds, some gloves, all the stuff they've got laid out here to try and grow stuff, okay? So, you ready to draw with me? Let's do it. This is my favorite part of our time together. I love drawing. Okay, so first we're gonna draw a shovel or two. So we're gonna come over here, draw a tiny, skinny little rectangle. There's your handle for your shovel. We're gonna make a V coming down, and then a long handle right until about there, and then come out a little bit more. Now we're gonna draw the head of the shovel. This is gonna be a square shovel, so make two sides coming out, come down straight, and then straight across there, okay? Look, there's one shovel already. That's a straight shovel. We're gonna make a round shovel, kind of the same way we did this one. I'm gonna draw a little rectangle here. You're gonna make a V coming down, and then we're gonna draw the handle. Most of the time handles are made out of wood, so you can color it like you would with wood, or it might be metal, so you can color it really any color you want. Shovels come in a lot of different colors nowadays. All right, so 2 lines down, 2 over, and then this one's gonna be a little bit more rounded, okay? Rounded shovel is my favorite shovel. Boom, we've already got 2 shovels ready for our garden. Now we're gonna draw some seed packets, and hey, good news. Seed packets are really easy to draw because it's just a bunch of rectangles or squares, right? So I'm gonna draw 4. You can draw as many as you want, and we'll write on there what kind of seeds these are. So, I don't know, we'll choose, whoops, sorry, bumped the camera. We'll choose tomatoes. I'll draw kind of a little tiny tomato right there. We'll draw, I don't know, some mint. You can draw like little leaves. You can draw a squash if you want. And I don't know, we can draw an apple. Whatever seeds you want to plant, okay? So there are your seed packets. We're gonna draw some gloves. It's always really helpful to use gloves in the garden. You never know when you're gonna touch something icky, need to keep your hands protected, that kind of thing. So it's really gonna be like drawing a hand. So just draw a straight line there. Come up and draw 5 fingers. Just like that. And we'll put a little bow on the side to show that they're gloves. That's the right hand. We'll do the same with the left, right? We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your garden gloves. We can draw little spades. They're like mini shovels. They're really tiny. So you just kind of draw a handle like that. And then tiny little shovel at the end. You can draw another one if you want. I go through these a lot. These are one of my favorite tools in the garden. So there's some spades. Let's draw a hose. You've got to be able to water your veggies. So we're gonna start down here, make a line, almost drawing like a rectangle. Draw some lines up here just to show that we're threading it. We'll draw some water dripping out of it. How's that? Now you know it's water. And we're gonna draw a super windy hose, okay? So you can just kind of wind it all the way around your paper if you want. Gonna do it like this and all the way up here. So that's one side of it. Now you're gonna just come a little bit away from that original line and follow it, almost like you're tracing it, but just a little ways off, okay? So just keep following the line that you made. And it'll look like a hose. It's carrying water to our veggies and fruit that we planted, okay? Now we're gonna write the name of the book on here. Remember, this was called Harlem. That was the city the story was told in. Harlem. That's in New York, if you don't know. Harlem Grown. G-R-O-W-N. Harlem Grown. And there's all your gardening supplies. Way to go. All right, I hope you guys loved Harlem Grown. I know, like I said, I just immediately loved it. And if you buy this book, the back couple pages, there's some instructions in there from Mr. Tony about how you can grow your own garden. And he just breaks it down into really simple steps about finding the right space and picking out the seeds that you want, giving it good soil and water and enough light. One of the things that I do with my plants, I know a lot of people do this, it might sound silly, but you should try it if you're gonna grow anything. I talk to my plants. I do. Sometimes I just, I don't know, have a conversation with them about how the day was going, or sometimes I'll sing to them, maybe I'll name them. I don't know, they're a living thing. And so I think it's really fun to just kind of chat with them. Just, reminds them that we're rooting for them. Get it? Rooting, plants, roots? No? Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And as always, stay well and keep reading.